Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Lore Council. This is Cade, and I am joined today by Maddie. I'm so sorry, I should have asked before we started, but how do you pronounce your last name?
Haigh.
Haigh.
With the J at the
Okay.
end.
Okay. I was thinking High, just like looking at it, but okay. So
A lot
cool.
of people think that being it's with the J.
Yeah. So she is a content creator on TikTok who does a lot of content and posts and stuff about the Star Wars Expanded Universe. So I think that would probably be a pretty great place to jump into. But before we do, what is your TikTok so we can get that plugged?
Maddie_Haigh.
All right, perfect. And then I will put that in the video description as well. So first question here, what got you into the Star Wars Expanded Universe?
Well, I got into Star Wars Legends in 2019, just after seeing The Rise of Skywalker in cinemas. I walked out and was like, what? This is not... I did not like this. I didn't like the whole sequel trilogy. But I walked out of the cinema and had so many questions, and so I went onto Wikipedia and trying to just resolve some of the questions, and I saw the Legends tab, and I'm like, oh my god, that's right, there's such thing as Legends, which I knew nothing about. But I had a read through of Leia's profile on Legends, and I was like, oh my god, she's a grandmother. So I read through Alana's profile, and then immediately just fell in love with Legends from there. Just my dislike of the sequel trilogy really pushed me into liking Legends.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure that's a pretty common thing for a lot of people as well.
I think so.
I think I've mentioned it on my podcast before. I have actually been a fan since 2001 because in my school library when I was in kindergarten, we were there to like pick out a book or whatever for reading, and I saw that there were Star Wars books in our library, and it was the Junior Jedi Knights novel, or like, I guess not even novel, but like book. And so I'm like, oh my god, I'm 5, 6 years old. I love Star Wars. I'll just get this book, and I did. And from there, it kind of snowballed, and now I have way too much money sunk into it to ever not like it. So
Yeah.
yeah. So with you starting there and to now, what would you say your favorite piece of Expanded Universe media is?
I'll probably say my favorite piece of media is probably the Millennium Falcon book. In my opinion, that is just, it's such a well-written book, and not only is it a great introduction into introduction to the history of the Falcon, it also has so many great moments of Han, Leia, and Alana. I feel like it's done such a nice job from Legacy of Force Invincible, where we see Han and Leia with their feelings of Jason, into now seeing how they feel about him in his death, and then how Alana feels, because we never get to see from Alana how she feels about Jason. And so I just feel like that book is just such a powerful story, and I always cry when I read it.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read that one in a hot minute, but yeah, I've really enjoyed like the history, like the time jumps, like jumping between the different eras and stuff. I think it's really, really fun too, because you kind of get a little bit of everything, kind of, but then with the main focus kind of being on that post Legacy of the Force era.
Absolutely.
And then, so going outside of novels and media like that, do you have a favorite Star Wars video game at all?
I do. I have sort of one that's in the non-canon Legends realm, and the canon. My favorite non-canon Legends game is probably Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga.
Okay, yep, that's a classic.
Sorry, I love that game. I think it's such. I've loved it ever since I was a kid, and even before I knew about Legends. But I'd say that my favorite canon Legends game is probably The Force Unleashed.
Sure.
Which a lot of people hate on, and I can understand Starkiller is definitely overpowered, but it's also a video game. It's something to, I feel like, to keep in mind. When people say, oh, he's overpowered, well, yes, it's a video game. It's sort of in the realm of what's going to happen. But I think that they did a really good job with that story. I love stories with, like, emotion, and there's definitely plenty of that in The Force Unleashed with Starkiller and everything that he's kind of going through.
Oh yeah, for sure. Have you read the novel or comics for that at all?
I have it. I just haven't read it yet. And
Okay.
I haven't gotten to it, and it's killing me because it's high up on my list to read.
Yeah, it's really good, and I think it does a really good job of like contextualizing the stuff that Starkiller actually does in the game, and it definitely
I've
puts
heard
it more.
that.
Yeah, it makes it seem, well, it's less video gaming, like it's a novel, obviously, But yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, I totally agree. I replayed it a couple of years ago, and I have like all the DLC and everything for it. I probably had to like badger my mom for it when I was a kid. Cool. So, from The Force Unleashed on to the next question here. Who would you say your favorite Jedi is?
Oh, it's such a there's so many great Jedi in Legends. Honestly, I'm probably gonna go with Jaina.
Mm-hmm.
I do love Jaina, and there are so many to choose from. I mean, Luke is amazing, Leia amazing as well. But I feel like Jaina has such an interesting journey with the Force, especially in like the New Jedi Order series. We see her with everything she loses with Chewbacca and Anakin, especially like Dark Journey is such a great story for Jaina's story. But I'd probably say Jaina. I feel like even coming into then like the Fate of the Jedi series and seeing her, especially with the way that her relationship with Jag is affected by her being a Jedi, I think is really interesting.
Yeah, and it also helps that you get to see her from like the Young Jedi Knights and like other post Return of the Jedi novels and stuff. Like you get to see her go from like literally a baby to like by the end of the timeline, she's like literally on like the Jedi Council.
Exactly, yeah. I think it's really interesting to be able to see her journey from start to finish, and everything she goes through. I just think is really interesting, and it's really powerful.
Yeah, it probably also helps too that she gets to like survive everything versus her brothers, unfortunately.
She was the lucky one that survived.
Yeah. And flip side of that one, do you have a favorite Sith Lord, or just kind of Dark Jedi, Darksider in general?
I'm gonna say probably Darth Kaitus.
Sure.
Keeping it within the Solo twins. I think very much the same. We get to see his journey from start to finish. And that's something I see is so common in sort of the Legends fandom, is no one ever seems to mention Alana being a huge part of the reason why Jason turned to the dark side. He was having all these visions, especially when he first met Alana, found out he was a father, and then right away starts getting visions of this galaxy in an endless war. And he's convinced that the Force is trying to show him these at the time when he's trying to save Alana, and he's convinced that that's why he needs to do something so drastic. And then later on, he has the visions of Alana serving Darth Krayt on the Throne of Balance. I just find that so interesting, and just everything he learnt and in his 5-year journey, and that kind of pushing him towards the dark side, I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, I wish we could have got some more about like the 5-year journey. I mean, obviously, like the later novels like go over it, but I would love to see it like his firsthand experience.
Absolutely, I thought that was really interesting. I feel like when he comes back, he's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm back." Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, where were you?"
Yeah, it's been 5 years, and now you know all this like stuff.
Exactly. I know it's there's a scene in The Joiner King where he sees Tenelka and he's like, Tenelka's like, "So what'd you learn?" And he goes, "It's not much."
Yeah.
It's like that's the discussion. It's like, oh, okay.
It's like, yeah, maybe a little bit more of that. But then I think it is cool that Luke kind of follows, in Fate of the Jedi, kind of follows along his, like, breadcrumbs. And so you do get to see some of it. But I think it would have been really cool to see Jason go on that journey.
Definitely. I feel like it was a very interesting choice to make him go to do that, especially straight after the New Jedi Order series. But, yeah, I feel like we were quite robbed.
Yeah. So speaking of what ifs and getting robbed, if you could write any story taking place in the expanded universe, what would it be? And obviously I put the caveat when I sent you the thing, not Sword of the Jedi, because obviously I know that would be the two easy ones, so.
Well, I know we were supposed to get an Alana Solo YA series. That was supposed to be set, I think, after Sword of the Jedi. I'm not sure who was planned to write that, but I feel like that would be very interesting to write. I feel like if I were to write it, I'd try to make it similar to the Young Jedi Knight series, a YA series that sort of pitched her dad as a main character for the first time.
Okay, that's cool. I had never actually heard that was like a planned thing at all.
I don't remember where I heard it from, but I remember hearing there's a couple of things that we were supposed to get. The Alana Solo YA series. Troy Denning was supposed to get his own series. There was another project that never obviously got cancelled with the rest of it, and I can't remember what it was now. I know, I'm so upset. There were so many things that we were supposed to get from Legends that Disney just cancelled and we haven't heard about. We'll probably never get.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a huge bummer. I wish they would allow Legends to just, like, continue. Like, you can have both timelines, like, Marvel does it, DC does it, like, every comic book company does it, so... Yeah, I think...
I wish. I was really hoping that with the new presidents coming in, the Lucasfilm presidents, that that they might see that Legends fans want it, but...
Yeah, I think 2018, I think, whenever that random, like, Marvel Star Wars comic that came out that was part of the Legends timeline, I thought maybe around then, I'm like, oh, maybe they're, like, dipping a toe and they're gonna kind of, like... maybe relaunch it or like continue, but then they didn't, and we kind of just got that one comic, which I own, but I haven't read any of the like old Marvel comics, so I'm like, what is this? What's going on? This is continuing a story from like 20 years before I was born. So yeah, that is a bummer. Staying on the EU here, what do you think is most understood about the expanded universe in the Legends timeline?
So would you like to repeat the question, sorry?
Oh, yeah, no, you're good. What do you think is, like, the most misunderstood thing or something, common misconception that people have about the expanded universe?
That it's, something I see a lot, especially on people love to comment on my account, is that it's fan fiction. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely not fan fiction. It's official Star Wars work that has been put out by Lucasfilm. George Lucas had a hand in creating big parts of it. And I see so many people be like, oh, it's fan fiction, oh, it's all non-canon, which is true to the main canon, but however, there is, like, under Legends, there's, like, canon and then there's non-canon, and some people go, oh, no, it's all non-canon, there's a canon storyline in Legends, and I see so many people going, oh, it's fan fiction, and I spent the last 2 days in a really intense argument in some random video TikTok comment section about this.
Yeah, no, I've been fighting that fight for, like, a hot minute, well, especially, obviously, like, after 2014 or whenever it was canceled, then it became like kind of a really hard line for some people where they're like, well, it's not canon anymore. It's like, well, it obviously not to like 7, 8, 9 and everything that's come after that, but like, yeah, like it is a timeline, like it's not fan fiction. Why would Lucasfilm like pay authors, thousands and thousands of dollars to like write these books and comics and get art done and like make a video game? Like I don't know a lot about video game development, but I know it is not cheap.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I was arguing with this person, and they were like, I was like, Legends is not fan fiction, it's official work. And they're like, oh, what's your proof? And I said, I think I posted the, like, publishing information from one of the New Jedi Order books that says copyright Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's from before Disney bought Star Wars. And I'm like, what's that got to do with anything? And then he was like, oh, well, there's no Legends figures or drawings, so that's not canon. So it's fan fiction. I'm like, dude, I'm staring at my collection right now, and I can see at least 10 Legends figures right in front of me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure even on, like, the newer books where, like, they've reprinted it and it has, like, the yellow Legends banner across the top, I'm sure on the back it still says, like, copyright Lucasfilm.
It does.
Yeah.
Because I also sent a photo of that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm fortunate, and, in the US with Amazon, I was able to get a lot of the books without it. Not that I care either way, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I have a friend from Canada, and he just has, like, the hardest time, like, trying to find stuff that doesn't have it on there. But yeah, used bookstores they're really good for that. And then, well, I guess kind of speaking of fan fiction, fan film, what made you decide on what you did, because you are writing a fan film, so what made you pick that besides your interest in Star Wars?
Well, I had so many questions because I wanted to do a fan film back in like 2020, so about like a month after I'd gotten into Legends. I was like, I need to do a fan film about this, and then I decided to do it sort of where we didn't I've always been curious about what Alana would think about her father growing up as a teenager and learning more about him. Especially because in Millennium Falcon there's a line where Leia's talking about one day she'll have to learn the truth about her father and why he did what he did. But right now she's so young, she doesn't need to know that. So I was always really curious about what that would look like, her growing up, what her feelings about her father would be, how everyone else in her life would sort of help her come to terms with that. And the original concept I called it Throne of Balance. It was a bit more different. It was more focused on her fate rather than her relationship with her father. And I sort of gave up on the idea. I was 17. I didn't have the resources or knowledge I do now to be able to make a film. I've since studied film at uni. I have a degree in film. So now that I have that knowledge and those resources, I feel like I am in a better place to be able to make this film. And I've always loved the idea. I've thought about it for the past 5 years. All I've really thought about is this fan film idea. And I really wanted to focus it more on her father. I feel like Jason and Alana's story is something I really love about Legends. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to make that the foundation of the film, and it's sort of just built upon that idea.
Yeah, very cool. I think that sticks with a lot of, like, thematically relevant stuff in, like, just the Star Wars films, like, as well. I know George Lucas has that, like, famous quote about, like, it's a generational thing. It's about, like, fathers and sons and stuff. So obviously in this case, fathers and daughters. But yeah, I think it's very interesting. Like, how far along do you think you are on it?
I'm working on the second draft of the script right now. I've got it open in front of me, like where my annotations are. So it's definitely still very early on, and there's still a lot of work I need to get done. But it's coming along slowly, which I'm really excited about.
For sure. Like, what is that process? I mean, you're not to that point yet, but, like, finding people to, like, be in it, is that, like, a process you've, like, have you done that before or anything, or?
Yeah, so I've made a couple of films, especially when I was at uni, and yeah, I had a whole casting process.
Okay.
For those films, and it's a very interesting process. It's something I definitely am incredibly mindful of when working on this film, and my biggest concern is just trying to make sure I find the right actors, because in the past it's been just my own original ideas. Now I'm sort of bringing characters to life that are very beloved. Especially because Luke is a character in this film, and I'm very nervous about finding the right Luke.
Yeah.
I think I posted a video maybe a few months ago asking people how, like, if I should include Luke, because Luke wasn't in the original idea, but I really wanted to include him. I just feel like it was just so perfect and necessary. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to go about finding Luke. And everyone in the comments was like, well, people will know it's a fan film, so if it's not, like, the perfect likeness to Mark Hamill, that people will understand. And I was like, okay, that makes me feel a bit better.
You can always just, like, put him in, like, his black robe and just, like, put his hood up and be like, oh, it's Luke.
Definitely, that's always a possibility.
Or maybe somewhere in Australia there's a dude just walking around that looks like exactly like Mark Hamill, and he's been, like, waiting for his time to shine.
That's exactly what I'm hoping we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's very cool. Like, are there any kind of fan films that, like, kind of inspired you to want to do it, or anything you've kind of maybe taken inspiration from, or is it kind of just like your love for, like, filmmaking and, like, that storyline?
Definitely a bit of both. There is not that many Legends fan films, especially for post Return of the Jedi. It seems to be a lot of, like, Old Republic that there are fan films, and there's a lot of AI fan films, and I'm very against AI.
Boo, tomato.
Absolutely. I'm very against AI. It takes away so many jobs from actual filmmakers. It's terrible for the environment. It harms communities. And there are so many Legends AI fan films, so I'm very.
And they always look bad too.
Exactly, they do. They never seem to work out well. And so, yeah, no, I definitely. There's one from, like, 2015, I believe. It's, for some reason, they've taken it off of YouTube now, but the Legacy of the Force fan film, they adapted Jaina and Jason's final battle. Yeah,
I had watched that one. I didn't know it was off YouTube, but I guess I haven't watched it in probably, like, years.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure. I think I saw a comment from the people who made it saying that they're, like, reworking their YouTube channel and they want to put it back up, and I hope they do, because I watched that film a lot, especially when I first got into Legends. I was watching that fan film a lot, and it really helped me kind of be a really good basis for getting into Legends.
Yeah, I think kind of just to the point you had made earlier about a lot of the fan films and stuff being kind of like prequels and Old Republic. I guess it also helps that, like, it's a little bit easier to like insert like new characters into those eras and not have it seem like super ham-fisted versus like trying to put like an OC or something like in the new Jedi Order and it's like, oh, it's Jedi Bob.
You know, absolutely.
Yeah. So are there other franchises that you're into besides Star Wars? I know obviously from your posts you're really big into Resident Evil, so you're probably like super excited about the Code Veronica thing that was just announced.
Oh my god, I woke up the other morning, and it was all over my TikTok feed, just all this stuff about, I think it was announced at Summer Games Fest.
Yeah.
I was getting all these posts, and I was still in bed, and I'm scrolling through, and I'm like screaming, because I was so excited, because I've tried so hard to play the original game, I can't seem to get past, I think when you first enter the military training facility, I'm struggling so much. I've had to go back to previous saves because it's not working for me. So I desperately want this remake. I can't wait. And we only have to wait till next year, which is even more exciting.
Yeah, I actually myself have just gotten into the Resident Evil 2 remake. I never really played Resident Evil before that. I think I played 4 with one of my buddies back in like high school.
Oh yeah.
But I absolutely suck at it. I'm constantly scared. Like, it's like, oh, what do I want to do on my time off? I'll just be anxious for 2 hours. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm not super good at it, but I'm getting better. I've had to go back, kind of like you mentioned. I've had to go back and reload some saves where it's like, oh, yeah. I completely screwed that up. Great. 2 hours gone. Outside of Resident Evil, are there other franchises that you enjoy?
I also love Silent Hill.
Okay.
I'm really big into horror. I love Silent Hill. I love the stories out of Silent Hill and the symbolism and the themes. I think they do such an incredible job with those games.
Yeah, I've never played those. I have one friend who is super into it, and he has a Pyramid Head cosplay. He does a lot of cosplay and stuff too. But yeah, no, I'm kind of a gigantic baby. I do not like horror stuff. The Resident Evil stuff, I guess, is about the most I do. But like, yeah, even like horror movies, scary TV shows, I'm a huge baby.
That's fair.
Yeah, it took my younger brother. It took him. It was like pulling teeth. He's like, "Oh, just play Resident Evil 2. The remake is so good." And I'm like, "Oh, I'll just be scared the whole time." But no, it has been really fun. Any non-horror IPs that you like?
A lot of my time is very much horror focused.
Sure.
Because even my filmmaking outside of my Star Wars fan film is like, I love making, at least coming up doing like horror concepts. I haven't made a horror film yet, but horror is a genre that I love in general. I mean, there's just things outside of horror that I love, but at the moment all I can really think about.
Yeah, and you're not into like the World Cup Australia playing or anything?
No, I should be more, go Australia, but I'm not really into sport.
Sure.
Where I'm from, the AFL, which is the Australian Football League, Aussie Rules Footy, is very popular. My sister plays. I don't care about it.
Sure.
I mean, I support my sister in playing footy, but as a whole, I don't really care.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get that. That's always a very interesting to see, though, just all like the different people getting together. Obviously, it's in the U.S., and kind of like you had mentioned, I should care more, but yeah, football's never been my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, no, that's very cool. Yeah, so is there anything else you'd like to plug or anything like that?
No, I think you covered a good amount of it.
All right, very cool. Well, kind of like I mentioned at the start, I will leave Maddie's TikTok and everything. Do you have any other social media that you'd want people to follow you on or anything?
There's my Instagram, Madeline Haigh.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll just have all that stuff linked down in the description. Definitely check her TikTok out. She makes a lot of really fun videos, a lot of good stuff, kind of talking about Legends and stuff. I really enjoyed your video that you recently did on like where to start in the expanded universe.
Oh yeah, I love getting comments like that. People be like, "Oh, where do I start? What's a good story for this character?" It makes me very happy because it's an opportunity to talk about legends, which I don't really have, and always gets really happy when people show interest in legends through me. It means people trust me with my opinion, which
Yeah, no, it's
always
that.
is very nice.
Yeah, that is very fun. I back when my younger brother was in high school, I got him into the EU outside of like we had like games and stuff. Like we played Jedi Knight on our Xbox and like Battlefront and all that stuff. Yeah. We had The Force Unleashed on the Wii. I don't know if you ever played it on the Wii.
I've bought it for the Wii.
Okay,
I've been playing it on my Switch. I've got it. I do have it. Own it for my Wii as well.
Yeah, we had it for the Wii, and we actually had. It must have been like a knockoff or something, but it was like a Wii remote lightsaber that you could put it in and it lit up. It was terrible and it didn't work. It was super unbalanced, but like we never ended up using it. But like being able to like play because they had like the dueling mode on the Wii that the Xbox and PlayStation didn't have. And that was it was really fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but when he got into high school and stuff, I literally one time when I was visiting at our grandparents and he was there, I just brought him like this box of books and I'm like, here, read these.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Well, because he loves to read, and he went through, I think I gave him the Thrawn trilogy, Darth Plagueis, and I think the Darth Bane novels as well. And just now recently I loaned him the entire X-Wing series, and he just finished the first 4.
Oh, nice.
So, like, sometimes, like, I'll be over at his place, he lives right near me, and, like, we'll just, like, be talking about, like, oh my god, like, Wedge is so cool, and Rogue Squadron's so cool, and then my sister-in-law, like, she just doesn't read Star Wars. And so she's just, like, sitting there, and she's like, oh, great. Oh, they're talking about Wedge again.
I know, every time I talk about Star Wars, that's what my parents are like.
Yeah, I have a very good friend, too, who is really, really into Star Wars, and I finally got him to read some stuff, and because he really loves Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I'm like, he literally has a book, just read it, like I have it, and he finally read it, and yeah, same thing, like we've had conversations, like we'll be out at like a bar, and him and we'll just like get going on like some goofy like Star Wars tangent, and people are just like, we're here to drink beer, like what are these guys doing? And then we're just like going ham like back and forth. But yeah, I also am very fortunate that I got into Star Wars Armada, which is a tabletop miniatures game before it got discontinued.
Oh, I've heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, it is very cool. But yeah, this has been a very fun, interesting talk. It's my first video in a hot minute on the channel, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And yeah, Maddie's stuff will all be linked down in the description, so definitely give her a check out. And until I see you next time, this has been Cade from the Lore Council, and we will see you later.